Number 7, we have Doritos 3D. Now, for those of us old enough to remember it, the 90s were a time where 3D was stuck on the end of any product name to make it about twice as cool. So, when Doritos brought out Doritos 3D, everybody lost their minds. They were more like airfy bugles than, normal two-dimensional Doritos. Doritos 3D might not have changed the world, but they got a pretty big cult following of fans when they were about who would argue over what was the best flavor: jalapeno cheddar, nacho cheese, or zesty ranch. For unknown reasons, Doritos decided to stop production of them in the mid-2000s, which devastated a lot of people. But I heard online that they are still making them in Mexico. Anyone fancy a road trip? Next up at number 6, now we have Nintendo Cereal. Yes, Nintendo used to have their own breakfast cereal. I know most of us are too young to remember it, but I think it's so cool that you will probably miss it as soon as you hear about it. I know I certainly do. Nintendo released it in 1988, and it only lasted for 1 year. But, oh, what a year that was! For Nintendo fans, it was called Nintendo Cereal System. Brilliant. There were 2 bags inside each box. Each one had a different cereal. One was the Super Mario Bros. Side and had Super Mario characters, items and stuff, that were all fruity flavored. The other side was Zelda, and had little berry flavored links, hearts, keys, and chess. The tagline was 2 cereals in 1. Wow. And I think that is something that we could all agree on. Wow. Most of us were born after the last box was ever eaten, but I think we will all miss it. Moving on to number 5. Now we have cheese balls. Cheese balls. Can you guess what flavor and shape cheese balls were? That's right, they were little balls of cheese. Snacks that were around in the early 2000s in North America. Now, I personally have never had them before, but everyone who has just raves about how amazing they were. Substitutes have come along, but apparently nothing really comes close to just how cheesy, puffy, and blah these cheese balls really were. There was even an official petition on Change.org to get Kraft Foods to bring them back. One part of the petition said, and I quote, "I have faith in humanity. But if we can't even agree on scrumptious snacks, then I don't know what we can agree on." Beautiful words. They're very nice, all in the name of cheese balls. Next up at number 4, we have cinnamon Tic Tacs these days. You can get fruit. Tic Tacs, the classic mint-flavored Tic Tacs. You can even get cola. Tic Tacs in some places. Tic Tacs is starting to sound weird in my mouth, but some hardcore Tic Tac fans will tell you that there's only one true flavor to rule them all, and that was cinnamon flavor. They were often referred to as winter warmers in the UK, because a few of them were said to be all you would need to fight off the cold. Thanks to their fiery taste, they were first released in the 1970s, but by 2010, they had disappeared everywhere. Presumably people just couldn't handle that kind of heat anymore. Coming in at number 3, now we have Oreo O's. I won't lie to you guys, I'm not really much of a sweet fan. I always prefer savory stuff, but even I like Oreos. I think we all do. They're just too good. Well, when Oreo realized that everyone loved their snacks so much, and that they were often dipping them in milk, they came up with a genius idea: an Oreo breakfast cereal called Oreo O's. It was launched in 1998 and instantly caused millions of kids to start tugging on their pee and sleeves in the supermarket until they got themselves a box. The cereal was discontinued in 2007, and everyone had to get on with their non-Oreo cereal lives, but they do still technically exist. Due to a series of complicated licensing deals and laws, Oreo O's are still being manufactured in South Korea, and I've heard you can actually order them on eBay to wherever you live in the world. I might order a box after this video. Alright, moving on to number 2. Now we have Sea Berry Snaps. If you were from outside of the UK, you probably never got to try these, but that's okay. I'm here to make you miss something you never even had before. Who likes Pringles? Who likes chocolate? Well, Cadbury Snaps were basically Pringles made out of chocolate. They were made by British chocolate company Cadbury, who are famous for making quality chocolate. And so when they took their chocolate expertise and applied it to the genius shape of Pringles, everything just made sense. Sadly, they took it away again. At some point in the last 10 years, I tried to look online, but that's all I could narrow it down to: some point in the past 10 years. I'm starting to wonder if they ever existed at all. Next up, at number 1, we have Dunkaroos. These were miniature cookies that you dipped in icing. They came in packs of 10, with exactly 1 cubic inch of icing. They came in different shapes, such as a hot air balloon or circle with a D on. Now I never had them, but from what I've read online, Americans love them. They reached peak popularity in the mid-90s, and the company even held a nationwide competition to name their new kangaroo mascot. The winner was Duncan. You get it, I see what they did there. They were discontinued in America in 2012, but in 2016, the company that made them, General Mills, actually encouraged Canadians to bring Dunkaroos from Canada to America on their travels because they were still being made in Canada. They called it Smuggleroos. Yes, I think we're done here. If you want part 2 of the stories behind the vaults, subscribe and turn on notifications.